We are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. I'd like to virtually welcome our newest student advisor representative, Ms. Pamela Smith of Phoenix College. Welcome to the board. And when I call for attendance, we'll tell you welcome again, okay? And at this time, I'd like to call to order the agenda review meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board of August 12th, 2025. Today, we will review the agenda for the August 26, 2025 board meeting. Let the record reflect it is 4:36, according to my watch. And for the record, I will call the roll of all the board members. Again, our newest trustee, student trustee, Ms. Smith.
Here.
Wonderful, thank you. Ms. Butler's not able to join us tonight. Ms. Davis?
Here.
Dr. Narini?
Present.
Wonderful, welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
Ms. Jacqueline Smith? Jacqueline? I think she's probably coming. Ms. Sullivan?
Present.
Dr. Thor?
Present.
And myself. So we do have a quorum of the board. So with that, we will proceed to walk through, as we normally do, the agenda for the upcoming board meeting and take questions and inquiries from board members if they need further information. We will start our regular meeting with our normal call to order, pledge allegiance, substitution, student life reports, faculty report, adjunct faculty report, staff representation report, awards and recognition. There will be, I know, an extensive report from the chancellor because we've had a lot of things happen since our last meeting, and the citizens in room if we have any, and then we'll move on to consideration of the consent agenda. And board members, please let me know if you have questions about these as we move forward. First is the approval recommendation of faculty emeritus distinction to Dr. Peter Brown. Secondly, approval of acceptance of transfer for the Maricopa County Community College Foundation on behalf of SRP for the Empowered Ed campaign in the amount of $168,000 for the period from May 1, 2025 to April 30, 2027. Item number 4, approval of acceptance of transfer of new award for the Maricopa County Community College Foundation on behalf of Microsoft Corporation for the Maricopa Promise Program in the amount of $288,000 for the period of May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2027. Any questions so far? Not. Item number 5 is approval of a continuation grant from the Helios Foundation to Maricopa County Community College District through Maricopa Community Colleges Foundation for September 1, 2025 to August 31st, 2026 in the amount of $2,200,000. Item number 6, approval of the partial guaranteed maximum price contract amendment number 8 for the District 8 wide central plant upgrades repair multi-phase project phases 1 and 2 in the amount not to exceed $7,022,906.75 to Pueblo Mechanical and Controls, LLC. Again, Ms. Davis, you got your answer on this item, correct?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Ms. Granillo.
Okay, perfect. Item number 7, approval of project initiation for the construction of a new welding facility in the amount of $25,391,140 at Mesa Community College on the Dobson campus. Approval number 8, number 8, approval to issue a purchase order to Voss Lighting in the amount of $231,705 for the parking lot for electric lines replacement at Paradise Valley Community College. Number 9, approval to purchase curriculum and catalog management software, CourseDog, for all 10 Maricopa Community Colleges in the district office to manage curriculum and catalog production in the amount of approximately $644,336 for a 2-year period from 9/1/2025 to 8/31/2027. Let me again ask if there's any questions so far.
President Bittersmith.
Hearing none. Yes, Dr. Thor.
Thank you. This sounds like a very good investment, but I'm wondering if it is generating any savings. In other words, are we able to cancel other licenses that we currently have?
Chancellor Gonzalez, who can answer that question?
President Bittersmith, Dr. Thor, let's see. Dr. Armour is the district sponsor and the responsible agent is Dr. Warner. So if either one are available to comment, I have uh, my thoughts on it, but I want to make sure we're accurate.
President Bittersmith, members of the governing board, this is Lisa Ray Armour, and I can answer this question. There will not be an immediate savings in terms of turning off any current availability of software. We do this curriculum management at the present time in a highly manual fashion. We don't actually have a modern product currently that accomplishes this task for us. The biggest savings to us will be in terms of staff time and productivity once we implement this new solution, because we will be able to step away from these myriad annual processes. We literally replicate 10 times the labor when we go through some curricular changes, because we're operating this series of documents for each of our 10 colleges at this time. Additionally, we will be able to generate an online catalog using this tool that is compliant with all the Title II obligations that we have. So again, we're getting some modern day functionality with this investment. Ultimately, staff labor savings that will be quite significant, but not until after the implementation.
Dr. Thor, did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you very much.
Right. And thank you, Dr. Armour, for that. Yes.
Yeah, I just had a couple of follow-ups. How will this affect
course, Dr. Marie.
the student center page that the students will be using? Because I see that a lot of this has to do with academic planning and academic advising and that sort of thing, and making sure students are on task. And I know the student center does a lot of that now. So how will this interact with that?
Yeah, this is essentially, Dr. Narini, a back office operation. That's the way I would characterize it. The big payoff for students ultimately will be that we will have a better definition on our academic pathways and the courses that they take more readily at hand, I would say. I would hope that eventually advisement would be able to do degree planning with students that exceeds our current capabilities because of this automation, but that will be down the road.
Yeah, because when I looked at the DOG website, it looked like that was a big part of it, was helping students streamline their planning and making sure that they're not wasting classes and making sure that they're transferable and that sort of thing. So this won't have any effect on our Find a Class either, then, will it?
Not at this time, to my knowledge. Meredith Warner, would you like to make any additional comments? I think this would be a gain down the road, Dr. Narini, but again, it will come down to our ability to turn this into a degree planning capability. This software does integrate with our student information system directly, and so we are going to have more timely information to offer our students about their courses and pathways.
Yeah, because that looked like one of the big selling points for Course Dog on their website, was the way it helps students navigate their major and that sort of thing. And so you were saying that there's a catalog. And so is there just going to be one catalog for all 10 colleges? How does that work?
Well, that's a matter of implementation and choice. We do have 10 colleges, of course, independently accredited with their own student-facing materials, and we certainly can generate those using this tool.
And will this have any impact on our students' financial aid or the way we administer financial aid?
You know, that's, I guess, at this point, a matter of speculation. I will say this, though. As we are able to integrate information about courses and pathways into our student information system and get into a better position for program planning, our advisors should be able to better help students understand when they are on track or on pathway and when they may be straying, and that can impact their ability to utilize financial aid most effectively.
So what kind of training are we going to have for our advisors and the staff that are student facing to make sure that we maximize the capabilities of this program?
That's a good question. Let me ask Meredith if she's done any planning yet, or if we're waiting to see whether we'll make the purchase to get that online. Meredith, do you have any comments?
So, Dr. Narini, when you looked at the CourseDog website, it has multiple modules, and I think that's an important piece for you to understand. We're purchasing the curriculum and the catalog side. We're actually not purchasing the assessment or the interactive pieces that work with academic advising, because we have a large portfolio of things that are coming forward in case management, enrollment, and admissions, as I'm sure you've probably read ahead in the agenda. And so this is specifically the curriculum and catalog side, which is really the back end. But in terms of how we will support our curriculum development facilitators, this will be a full training. They will be part of the testing. They will help us in development of the forms associated with the curriculum management and the workflow process and all of those pieces for the design and development of curriculum. And then the publication of the catalog will be visible very clearly across all 10 colleges for their individual catalogs. And it does, as Dr. Armour has already suggested, it directly interacts with SIS. So it will easily display program pathways for students. And so they will be able to interact with it, and so will our academic advisors. But it's just a process by which it will upload to SIS accurate information for their degree progress. But the majority of the training that's going to happen within CourseDog and the tool itself will be on the curricular side with our curriculum development facilitators at the colleges.
So I think I misunderstood. So you're saying that we're going to have this uploaded so the students will be able to see their and track their progress and the student center?
That's correct. So it will directly upload all of the catalog requirements. The curriculum that's associated with every program will have a direct line to our student information system, and thereby their planners within our student information system.
Okay, so I misunderstood, I guess, what Dr. Armour was saying. And so I noticed that ASU and the 3 state universities use CourseDog as well. Will this kind of take the place of the ABOR's transfer.com website and what they're doing with the transferability of our courses to theirs?
Oh, that's such a good question. Actually, ASU uses Koali, but NAU and U of A both use CourseDog. And CourseDog will allow us to interact swifter with our transfer partners. It will not replace the assets tool that is used by AZ Transfer, but it will communicate directly with them. So it will be a much faster process in terms of us getting alignment with their programs and their courses.
So it'll be a 1-step instead of a 2-step for the students.
Yes, sir.
All right, that sounds like a winner. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nerman. Thanks. All right, moving on to number 10, approval to modify an existing utility easement for the city of Phoenix to relocate an existing water meter and provide new water line at Paradise Valley Community College. Number 11, approval of renewal of the intergovernmental agreement between the Phoenix Union High School District and Maricopa Community College District on behalf of South Mountain Community College for 2 embedded advisors for the time frame of July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2027. Number 12, approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Glendale Community College and the Western Maricopa Education Center to facilitate concurrent enrollment in fire science and automotive technology, effective upon execution of the agreement by all parties that shall expire on the date of June 30th, 2028. Number 13, approval acceptance of an educational services agreement with Onvita Yuma Regional Medical Center and an intergovernmental agreement with Arizona Western College and Mesa Community College for LPN training courses from September 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, in the amount of $218,360. Let me again stop there and say, are there any questions? Hearing none. Item number 14, approval of intergovernmental agreement between the Arizona Board of Regents and Maricopa Community Colleges for participation in the FY 2026 Arizona Community College Promise Fund established under ARS 151705 in the amount of $1,444,890. Number 15, approval of revised FY 2025-26 adopted budget. I'm sorry, was there a question?
Yes.
Dr. Storr.
Yes, thank you. I know this was a big win for us legislatively to be included in this program, but I'm wondering if somebody could describe it a little more for us. For example, who will be eligible for these funds? What will be the process for distribution, and will all colleges be participating?
Dr. Gonzalez, who can answer that for Dr. Thor?
Thank you, President Bittersmith. I'm going to ask if Lisa's prepared, Dr. Armour's prepared. I know that the team has been working on, probably some of the things that would answer Dr. Thor's questions. So, Lisa, are you prepared to do that, or do you have someone on your team that could?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. President Bittersmith, Dr. Thor, I can give you some of the details, and I'll have to pull the document up to get very specific about the requirements, but I suspect this is the information you're looking for. We are going to administer these funds in the same way that we administer our existing promise funds, and our partners at the foundation, and also, of course, our financial aid experts have worked together to articulate that so that it's really, in some sense, one pool of funds. So we're looking at student need. We're looking across the 10 colleges, and we will maximize the use of these funds by providing, I believe, in consistency with our other administration, a $600 per student. This will allow us to really spread those funds around. So we're not partitioning it into pockets for the 10 colleges. It is a fund that students will access according to most need first. Did you have anything more specific, Dr. Thor?
No, that's helpful. Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Armour. Okay, number 15, approval of revised FY 2025-26 adopted budget for the Gateway Early College High School. Number 16 is approval of revised FY 2025-26 adopted budget for the Phoenix College Preparatory Academy. And number 17 is approval of the Healthcare United at Gateway Clinic Spring 2025 Quality Management Reports. The reports have been completed in accordance with the Arizona Health Services Department Administrative Regulations under R9-10-1004, subsection 2. Any questions on those items? If not, now you'll notice the next items are placed. Oh, yes.
Excuse me, President Bittersmith, this is Ms. Sullivan. I wanted to go back to item 14, the IGA on the Promise program. And Dr. Thor certainly mentioned this was a great opportunity and success for us to be included in this allocation. So I wanted to acknowledge the government relations team that worked so impactfully and effectively at the legislature to ensure that this would be part, an outcome of the legislation around this money. So thank you for that. And that concludes my comment.
Well, great comments, Ms. Sullivan, and thank you for reminding all of us of, because that was a great win coming out of an otherwise challenging session. So
yes,
again, congrats to the team.
They did a good job.
Yep. Okay, the next number of items are placeholder items, and they're waiting for final notices of funding. Since we're at the beginning of the academic year, we still have some RFP closes that need to happen. We believe we'll have all the information ready for the governing board for August 26th meeting, but if not, you'll see them on a future agenda. I'm going to run through these quickly, and recognizing that we don't know that all of these placeholders will necessarily be on our final agenda. Number 18 is approval of the acceptance of a new grant from the U.S. Department of Education to Gateway Community College for FY 2026 of TRIO Student Services Support from September 1, 2025 to August 3, 2026 in the amount of $284,915. The next item, item number 19, is approval of the acceptance of a new grant from the U.S. Department of Education to Mesa Community College for FY 2026 of TRIO Student Support Services from September 1, 2025 to August 30th, 2026 in the amount of $272,364. In the item number 20, approval of acceptance of a new grant from the U.S. Department of Education to Mesa Community College for FY 2026 of TRIO Student Support Services, STEM, from September 1, 2025 to August 30th, 2026, in the amount of $272,364. Item number 21, approval.
President Bittersmith.
I'm sorry, is there a question?
Again, Ms. Sullivan, again, sorry to interrupt you. But given
No problem.
18, 19, and 20 TRIO grants.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
Thank you. Excuse my voice. I know that there also are other considerations generally around TRIO grants. So I'm glad to hear that we'll potentially be moving forward. Were there any surprises? These are confirmed. Are there any readjustments we had to make to our applications around TRIO? Can anyone answer that for me?
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes, President Bittersmith, Mrs. Sullivan. So we have Gateway and Mesa again, sort of in holding pattern to these. So I would invite either Dr. Danielle or Dr. Diaz to respond to your questions.
Dr. Diaz or Dr. Daniel?
Would you start now?
Yes, hello.
Dr. Daniel? Oh, Dr. Diaz.
Hello, yes, thank you, President Bittersmith and Chancellor Gonzalez. We are all in the same room together. So the presidents, that is, so Dr. Daniel and I are here together. It is our understanding that our 2 TRIO SSS grant submissions are in what is called the potential funding band. And the Department of Education has not yet notified us if our grants will be renewed for another 5 years. But it is our anticipation that we would receive notification within the next 2 weeks, which is why it's on this particular agenda as a placeholder. In the event that we receive notification that we can receive it. We both have TRIO SSS grants currently that we're completing, but October 1st would be the beginning of the new 5-year cycle.
And I know there are rankings attached to these grants. Are we in a hold pattern because of ranking? Are we in a hold pattern because of content? Do you know the answer? I mean, everything is, there are so many unknowns, but I'm curious, do we know?
President Bittersmith, Mrs. Sullivan, Chancellor Gonzalez. So in the first round of review, we were in the secondary strand. And then what happened is that there was a limit of funding. I think there's been some funding that potentially has been reinstated now. So we're waiting to see, we meet the criteria for funding. The question is, are we going to be funded? That's still yet to be determined. We believe that we'll know that in the next couple of weeks, but we are in that funding category to be able to receive funding if there is enough funding available.
Do we have a plan B in the event that these are not funded or they're funded at a amount?
Mrs. Sullivan?
Yeah.
Yes, so we do have a plan B. I think part of it is as we move through the process, we will continue to support. I believe that Chief Bowen, COO Bowen mentioned that we would work through the process with employees who are specially funded over a period of time, where we'll do that at Mesa Community College. We will find them an opportunity and try to figure out if there's positions within our system at Mesa as well as in the system-wide for them to be able to apply to if in fact we are not able to continue their employment because of the funding being eliminated.
And Mrs. Bittersmith, Mrs. Sullivan, Chancellor Gonzalez, that would be the same for Gateway. We would do our best to retain the employees. However, they all know, as being funded fully by federal grant funds, that if the grants were not renewed, the programming will discontinue.
Got it. I certainly hope you get good news in the next 2 weeks, but I appreciate you bringing us up to date on status outside of just it being a placeholder while we're waiting. So thank you.
President Bittersmith?
Yes, Dr. Gonzalez.
Thank you for your questions, Mrs. Sullivan. If Dr. Danielle and Dr. Diaz might add, how many, if you know this question, how many years have each of your colleges had the TRIO grant consecutively?
I believe at Mesa, it's been, I know we're in the final year of a 5-year grant. I think they had it prior to that as well. So I think it's probably more than 10 years.
Yeah, I believe at Gateway, this would be our 5th 5-year cycle. So we're in year 20, as far as I can calculate.
I know these are great grants and you've done well by them. Did we have any other colleges that applied for TRIO grants that were not or didn't even make the second bucket?
PC.
Dr. Gonzalez, do you know?
I hear someone say PC.
Yes, yes. We applied and we were told that we were competitive, but we were not funded.
Is that you, Dr. Brett?
Yes, I'm sorry. It is.
Thank you.
That's unfortunate. And I know you've done a good job with these monies in the past. Okay, thank you again for the update.
Thank everyone for answering those questions. Okay, let's move on to item number 21, which is the approval of acceptance of the Resilient and Efficient Codes Implementation Subrecipient Agreement with the City of Tucson for our U.S. Department of Energy grant in the amount of $250,000, which would be effective April 1, 2025 through May 31, 2029. Item number 22, approval of expenditure of budgeted funds not to exceed $13,767,285,000. Excuse me, let me go back. It is $13,767,285 over 10 years for the Student Lifestyle Management Solution for RFPs 3582-10, 3583-10, and 3584-10 for the time period of September 15, 2025 to September 30th, 2035. Item number 23, another placeholder purchase order to award a construction contractor and the amount yet to be determined for the Bluford Hall Aviation Accelerator Project at Chandler Gilbert Community College at the Williams campus. And then item number 24, approval of purchase order in the amount yet to be determined for specialty equipment for the Future 48 Workforce Accelerated Advanced Manufacturing Semiconductor Project at Gateway Community College at the Central City campus. Those are the end of the placeholders. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we will then go on to the non-consent action items, which we don't have any at the moment. And then we have our first reading information items, our employment and separations report that we have at every board meeting. And then we have the first read of a series of proposed revisions to the governing board policies, among them vision, mission, and institutional values, strategy 3, cohesive identity, strategy 4, organizational talent, strategy 2.2, treatment of faculty and staff, 2.7, employee compensation and benefits, 4.1, shared governance principles, 4.2, manner of governing. Any comments or questions on those items? Again, these are first reads, so that we will have further conversations. We will have our normal monitoring reports, which is the budget analysis report fund and and the budget analysis report fund as well for the second report for the August agenda. We will then move on to our community linkage reports. And then, of course, we'll do the announcement of upcoming dates and adjourn. So are there any remaining questions about the agenda for the August 26th meeting? Hearing none, I would like board members to, do I have a motion now to adjourn to executive session pursuant to ARS 38431.3 subsection A3, which is a litigation update?
This is Marie, so moved.
So moved by Ms. Sullivan. Is there a second?
This is Donna, second.
Seconded by Ms. Davis. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, by a unanimous vote and the Student Advisory Board, the agenda review meeting of the Governing Board is adjourned, and we have now we'll be moving into our executive session. And let the record reflect that it is 5:06. Since we have concluded our agenda review meeting and I'm moving to exec session, board members and those invited, please stay on this WebEx link. All others, thank you for joining this afternoon. Have a great rest of your evening.